He's a Stalinist? Oh, okay, that's based. Stalinism's based.
I'm going to go ahead and say that that was the most one-sided beating I've seen in a long time. Thank you, Jen. I appreciate it. Yeah. He got fucking wrecked. Destiny got fucking wrecked, man. Holy shit. What should I make for Twitter to comment on this? This is all I'm saying. Absolutely destroyed. Look, guys, truth is truth. I don't care who inflicts the truth. Truth is truth. Look at this. This is the, by the way, this is the guy who like fabricated coming to debate me in person. He's like, wow, siding with a neo-Nazi white nationalist. Now it's gonna be. He's claiming he's coming next Friday on a bus to Detroit. I'm not even entertaining it. I'm not doing that bullshit anymore, you know. But I said no. I didn't side with Destiny. Oh shit. Oh shit. Unironically, it's actually unironic. Yeah, it's actually unironic. Even fucking Destiny was like, oh, he was trying to like nudge him. He was like, oh, well, don't you think if you're America first that you should be supporting the globalist empire? Because, you know, it's and he just fucking transparently saw through it. He's like, no, because that empire is not for the people at home, you know? Yeah. The empire of lies. Like you're talking to a dude on a fucking no-fly list. You're trying to like win him over. Oh yeah, what, don't you want to defend the people that put you on a fucking no-fly list? Get the fuck out of here, dude. It's so fucking stupid. Everyone's now complaining. Oh my god, Hans, you're siding with a white nationalist. I'm not even white, you stupid fuck. There's literally these white liberal leftists complain. Hans, mask off moment, you're siding with a white nationalist. And these are like white people saying this shit to me. The fuck? I side with the truth. I don't care who's telling the truth. I'll side with the truth. I don't give a fuck who it is. Truth is truth. If someone's spitting facts and another person's saying the dumbest bullshit ever, I'm going to side with the truth. I don't give a fuck what the optics look like. That was a very one-sided debate. Like, Destiny took a big fucking out. What, am I going to lie to you? I'm going to lie to you and tell you Destiny won? And besides, you want to talk about white nationalists? To be completely honest, Destiny's way more of a fucking white nationalist than Nick. In my eyes. In my eyes. Because when I think of white nationalism, it's like what Dugan said. To me, white nationalism is globalism. You know? And Ukraine and Azov and shit that's associated with Destiny. It's liberalism, right? And to me, I think the reason why the white nationalism thing might have been adopted unironically by a lot of people is because you had a working class movement that was supporting Trump, which was majority white, right? Because the reason for that is because the majority of fucking people in this country are white. It's not because they were fucking bigots or racist. It's because the majority of people in this country are white and have been since day one, right? So you had a working class movement, the elites who use race to divide the people, right? The ruling capitalist elites use race to divide us. So they came and they accused everyone they accused every populist of being a white supremacist and a white nationalist, right? So yeah, some people just wore it as a badge of honor, right? But I don't think that's because these are people who are necessarily elitist white nationalists who have this fucking, That's more like the EU and humanitarian bullshit and whatever the fuck. That's what that is. It's not a fucking coincidence that Germany's the most rabidly pro NATO fucking lib shit country right now in terms of its media and in terms of the fucking popular sentiment. Yeah, they would be called racist anyway. It's not racist to not be on board with liberalism's bullshit fucking what do you call it? Bullshit attempt to kind of like fucking how do I put this? It's not racist to reject the political correctness. It's not racist. Just because you're not on board with the fucking dumb shit from the liberal establishment that tries to fucking brainwash us that we don't even fucking live in reality anymore. Nobody in the world has the mentality of the politically correct liberal establishment. In Zimbabwe, Mugabe doesn't buy the politically correct bullshit. In the populace in South Africa, the EFF, they don't buy that fucking bullshit. Russia, China, Middle East, wherever you fucking go, they don't buy that fucking bullshit. Eastern Europe, they don't buy that fucking bullshit, right? So it's not racist when you just don't buy that fucking bullshit thing that they're saying, We, the race realism, yeah, I'm against the genetics as a whole. I don't believe in genetic science. I'm a Lysenkoist, right? But as a Marxist-Leninist, we do have a national question. There are national realities, right? That's a thing. That's a very important thing. Very, very important thing. There are different peoples with different traditions and cultures and whatever. So, yeah, I mean, that's just common sense. That's just basic fucking common sense. Everyone in the world understands that. Oh, Haz, mask off. You're siding with the neo-Nazi white. I mean, actions speak louder than words, right? Action speaks louder than words. That's all I gotta fucking say, right? Last time I checked, Nick Fuentes wasn't crucifying people in Odessa, and doing this crazy fucking horrific shit that the Ukrainian neo-Nazis are doing that Destiny's defending. Last time I checked, they're not doing that shit. Thank you, Farrakhan. Appreciate you. Yeah, I mean, and also, I don't have to agree with everyone on everything to not hate someone, And just to call the truth, I'm calling the fucking truth. I don't know Nick Fuentes that well. I vaguely recall he used to be on Twitch. I did watch back in the day the Nick and Sargon versus Destiny and Hassan debate, where they didn't do very well in that debate. Talking about Hassan and Destiny, they didn't do very well. I recall that, and then I know he got banned, and then actually the reason I started to pay a little of attention to him is not for ideological reasons. It's just because I'm facing a similar threat, especially because of the Russia shit. And to me, he is an example of someone who is able to maintain platform independence, as well as maintain a community which is platform independent. So me and the showrunners, we looked into that as like a very good example of how that's possible. By the way, we do have our own website with our own chat right now. So keep that in mind. But yeah, he's a paleocon. That's kind of what I think too. I don't know if I really buy the whole thing like, oh, he's a Nazi or whatever. I just think he's a paleocon. I think he's more like a, Ron Paul, conservative, paleocon. Just because somebody's not a fucking Republican neocon doesn't mean they're not a fucking paleocon. There's such a thing as paleocons. Yeah, Pat Buchanan and all that stuff. Anti-Semitic? I don't know anything about that, I don't know anything about that. Have you seen his chat? Yeah, but that by that logic, then would are you gonna admit that Destiny's community is pedophilic because the chat is always flirting and memeing about being pedos and shit? So do you apply the same standard? Nobody really fucking applies the same standard. You know what I mean? No, I didn't see the react. I don't even know where I would be able to see that. I didn't see that where he reacted to the debate with Destiny. But that wasn't a very good debate because Destiny derailed it. Like if Destiny acted in his debate toward Nick, if he acted the same way toward me and Jackson, that it would have been really one sided. You know, I mean, it already was one sided on the meat and potatoes, but I'm talking about in terms of optics. Because in terms of optics, a lot of people were turned off about how loud I was, but nobody really broke down the actual like substance of what we were debating about, which is sad, right? What is this? Okay, here's this. So we're just gonna start with this, but they actually like the loudness. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, it's like it seems like everyone had an issue with the loudness. I'm glad some people at least liked it, but yeah, yeah. I mean, look, what I got to say is right now the most dangerous thing is liberalism, easily, easily. Because remember, look, the far right in America is not the same as the one from the 30s in Germany and Italy. That one was the hired thug of Wall Street and big business. Now, this is a historical dispute that not everyone ideologically agrees with, but that's just our perspective. That's my perspective, right? So it's not the same to have an identity and to be the real thing, in my view, right? A lot of the time, that shit is just like you get labeled a lot by your enemies, and eventually it becomes a way to identify yourself at their expense. They hate Jews and Muslims, though. I can't speak on the anti-Semitism thing, right? But I can speak on the Muslim thing because I'm Muslim. And what I could say about that is I personally prefer it when people are open about their distance rather than people like Destiny's community who pretends like they're these universal liberals who actually have anti-human, disgusting, barbaric views toward Muslims. Like, I personally prefer when Christians are honest about either not knowing a lot about Muslims or even being a little hostile, just because that's like, you can work with that. You can't work with a liberal who pretends to be universal and pretends to not see any fucking differences. Those are the most vicious anti-human racists, in my view. In my experience, that's actually my experience. But look, regardless of that, objectively speaking, I'm speaking from an impartial, objective perspective. Forget about the personalities, because again, I don't know everything about Nick. I'm not. People don't understand. I don't know that much about the scene. I know about Destiny, Hassan, Vosh, and some of Destiny's orbiters. Like that. Who's that British guy again? Whoa, who's that fucking guy? I don't know. I forgot his name. But I know about some people. I know about Sargon. Yeah, I remember KF Logan and stuff. Oh yeah, that's his Chud Logic. Yeah, he made a video, by the way. He made a hit piece video. He used the Zerka thing. He made a video about the Zerka stream when I was on. I called into Zerka's show when the last day in Austin, and he got 20,000 views from it. Right. So yeah, interesting. But yeah, he made a hit piece using that as ammunition. against both me and Jackson actually, which is interesting. But yeah, he's yeah, that guy's not going anywhere with his career. He's not. He doesn't have a future. But I'm not that familiar with the scene. You know, I can't. I don't really know the lore behind shit. And a lot of people are surprised by that because like I'm a relatively big streamer for my age. But the truth is, I didn't spend most of my time keeping up with streamer stuff. I spent most of my time reading and writing, right? Um, yeah, but what I'm trying to say is that what was I trying to say? Yeah, on the merits of the debate, as I saw it, that was a bit. That guy Nick performed very well on the merits of the debate. Forget about all the personalities. 'Cause again, I don't know everyone that well. You know, people are gonna tell me, "Oh, Haas, did you know he ate babies?" I don't know. You know what I mean? I really don't know. I'm gonna tell you on the merits of that debate, he performed pretty impressively. Um, he performed pretty impressively in that debate, especially for his age, right? So he did pretty well. Um, I was impressed with his knowledge of like the stuff about the missiles. I didn't even know about that, right? That the America withdrew from its agreements with Russia, its bilateral agreement with Russia of the proliferation of those missiles, right? Allying with Groypers is not a good look. Bro, you are where are Groypers? You know what I mean? Like you want me to be a fake fuck streamer who's like, I don't know. I'm telling you, I just saw a debate and I'm telling you what I think about it. Okay? I'm telling you what I fucking think about what I just saw. You trying to involve me in all this drama and shit. What do you want me to fucking tell you? What do you want me to lie to you and say Destiny did well? You know, I'm not a guilty until proven otherwise type of person. I don't start problems. I'm never the person who starts problems. Not even with Destiny, but by the way. You know, with Destiny, I used to be pretty polite. You guys remember those days where I used to be pretty civil and polite, but I'd focus on the meat and potatoes? The reason the war started is because Destiny obviously, gave me a reason to disrespect him. That's why all this shit started. Yeah, he instigated everything. So that's how I am in general, right? But it also kind of started as well with that Mr. Girl shit because when I started to see how they're normalizing pedos and when I'm starting to see all of like the pedo shit that's coming out of that community, I mean, you guys, wait, can I be clear about something, guys? Are we still on the same page that pedos are worse than right wing nationalists? Can we agree on that? Can we agree like pedos are the worst thing? I hope we could, you know? I think like that's a very clear line about the abuse of children. That's a very clear line, you know? I mean, are we even fucking human anymore? Holy shit. Okay, the same way Nick's community jokes about like the far right stuff, Destiny's community jokes about being fucking pedos. So you tell me, you call them neo Nazis or whatever. So are you going to agree that Destiny's community is child abusers? Because they use the same edgy humor. Yeah, I know that. I do know that they're not the same as the Richard Spencer white nationalists. So yeah, I'm aware of that. All I'll really say on the whole thing is basically to conclude, I guess, to like before we move on to this stit is that talking about the debate. Destiny is a profoundly stupid person. Profoundly. And I think that's the most important takeaway from that. I mean, I don't know what the benchmark is exactly, because it seems like almost everyone who's doing this is a fucking idiot who's not banned at least. But this guy, I see him think. I see him like put energy into thinking about saying something. And I'm seeing him like, I see this mental agony to like solve the puzzle and come to a conclusion. And the shit that comes out of his mouth is so fucking stupid, it makes you wonder. Now, if he was just sitting there, just kind of slurring out this shit, I might cut him some slack and be like, okay, maybe if he's trying to think about it, he'll be able to come up with an intelligent point. But he just like, I see him put the effort into like forming these thoughts, which turn out to be very, very stupid, right? And to me, it's actually pretty shocking. Would there be anything materially different that you would have said in the debate if you were in Nick's shoes? Let me think. I would have added more embellishment, I guess is the word. I don't know what to call it. I would put money on his IQ being at least double yours. Didn't Destiny take an LSAT cold and get like a fucking like he failed? What did Destiny get on the LSAT when he took it? Didn't he get like a really bad score? Because I've taken the LSAT once. I took it cold, and I got 155. He rage quit. He rage quit? I got 155 cold, and I didn't even study. I tried to prepare for the logic games portion, which I couldn't. I spent like 15 minutes on it, and I was like, okay, this isn't going to work. And the LSAT, I've never taken an IQ test, but the LSAT's a pretty good measure of like how logically rigorous you are. And 155 is not like the best, but consider the fact that that's just because I completely failed the logic puzzle portion. And the logic games, the logic puzzles, those aren't based on like any innate ability to reason or use logic. Those are, you actually have to like prepare. They're like puzzles you have to solve, right? The way they set them up. It's form, right? And I didn't do any of that. And had I spent time on those, I would have easily gotten an elite score, because on like every other section of the LSAT, I performed like phenomenally, like elite level, you know? So, yeah. Yeah, if you take an IQ test, you're a fucking idiot, right? But I can tell Destiny would never be able to get into a law school. He's not a smart person. It's actually kind of sad. I mean, he is a ganger. He is a gamer. I'm good at logic puzzles. No one is good at these puzzles just reading them for the first time. You have to actually you need to practice them just to even know how to like begin with them. It's a form thing, right? The logic puzzles in Mensa, they're really hard to explain. I'm not talking about the logic puzzles in general. It's like a very, very specific. Let me show them to you, actually. Let me look at this. LSAT logic games. Yeah, this is what they're like. I'll show you what the logic games are like. So yeah, let me give you an example of one. Sample LSAT logic game. Here's a good one, right? This is a good one. These aren't hard at all, but you just have to know the form and the structure of them, right? Let me show it to you. Logic games appear in analytical reason. Okay. An advertising executive must schedule the advertising during a particular television show. 7 different consecutive time slots are available for an advertisement during a commercial break and are numbered through 7 in the order that they will be aired. 7 different advertisements must be aired during the show. Only one advertisement can occupy each time slot. The assignment of the devil is it, and then so it's like it's an ordering, it's conditionals, and then they ask you a series of questions. And the way you do these is that you actually have to write out the order and the conditionals. And once you start doing that, they're very easy to solve, right? You just have to know how to write them out. But this is what I flunked on during the LSAT because I didn't even I didn't practice any of these. So I obviously did horrible on them. But for everything else, I did extremely, extremely well. So the final score was a 155, which is pretty good, right? It can get harder with timing. The thing is, the things that matter on the LSAT is the rest of the test. If you can do at least a little bit good on these logic games, you can get a very high score on the LSAT. Right? Yeah, I did some shit where I just marked all the C's. Because you guys know something, I don't study for tests. I got 163, but I studied a lot. Yeah, I know people who have studied a fuck ton, right? But I don't believe it's about studying. I don't think it is. I don't think intelligence is something innate. This is what I want to explain to people. Can I tell you guys what I think intelligence is? To me, intelligence is trauma. It's the same thing as physical strength. It works the same way. When I'm next to a weakling, some, chicken neck, weak, chicken wristed fucking little bitch, right? And I can see they can't even come close to what I lift. There is an innate resentment I have because you've never had the pain I've had. You're weak, you're soft in some kind of way, right? It's the same when it comes to intelligence. You've never been mentally traumatized to the point where you've got to open these pathways in your fucking brain and be precise about shit. You've never been forced to do that. You're weak, right? It's the same exact thing. That's why when you call somebody a dumb, stupid fuck piece of shit, you're not actually being ableist because it's not like an innate thing. And at least in my view, the reason it's an insult is for the same reason as calling someone a weak, pathetic little bitch. Because you've never actually had the combination of trauma and the willpower to overcome that aforementioned trauma to be a strong person. You're a fucking weakling, right? You've never actually been able to muster the strength, the mental strength, to be fucking smart. You know? Do you think there's any innate components of intelligence or strength? Probably, but not on a socially relevant level. Like, what I mean to say is, like, if someone has the willpower or the trauma to, like, come to brilliant, beautiful conclusions, you're not going to notice if someone can calculate something faster than someone else, right? That's just how I look at it. Like, yes, there probably is an innate component, but not one that you're going to notice, right? Brilliance is brilliance. And all the innate component of brilliance, I don't think gets noticed. I think what gets noticed is the trauma that leads you to it. Yeah, the problem is children being coddled by their parents. I genuinely think stupidity is a sin. I genuinely think it's a sin. No, it's not a sin to be stupid. It's a sin because, look, working class people work with their hands. Usually they don't work with their heads, right? So that's fine. But I hate when stupid people rise to the occasion of thought in a hostile way with me. Because you are in over your fucking... Like, go eat a bag of Doritos. Why are you fucking arguing with me? Why are you trying to challenge me on something you are clearly not equipped to fucking challenge me on? You know, like, you're a fucking idiot. Why did Destiny treat Fuentes with respect in that debate when he was disrespectful towards you? He's very scared of Fuentes' community. That's why. He's scared of Nick's community coming after him. He's a pussy. That's why even at the end when he was trying to insult the guy, he was like really tiptoeing around it. And he was like, "Oh, well, what do you think about the optics of America?" But it's like he's just doing all this fucking bullshit. Yeah. You guys were screaming at each other. Destiny didn't want to debate me and Jackson on it because we had more to gain. Whereas Fuentes is already an established figure, and Destiny's goal is to win over his community, to look good in front of an already established community. Me and Jackson's community is not established. So Destiny thought he could get away with disrespecting us more, right? That's why. But also, he's really scared of Nick Fuentes. He's very, very scared of him. He's always been terrified. But then, the Fuentes guy is really smart. Can I say that? He's smart. I remember seeing him debate. I watched this video of him debating Destiny from like 2019. And that was like 3 years. So he was like, what, 19, 20 back then? He's pretty smart, that guy's pretty young, right? I'm 25, so it's only 2 years younger, but still, for someone who's made as much commotion, it's pretty impressive. Would you go on Nick's stream if he invited you? That sounds more enticing if I was platform independent as well. But broadly, I would be open to it. Yeah, I would be open to it, but I would have to be very careful, I would have to be very careful because that it's like I'm still on the surface web, right? So I can't like be I'm not on the dark underground yet, right? I'm still like on the surface web. So it's one of those things. It's not that I hide a ton of my views. It's more so that like I'm not sensitive and I'm not one of the people who's like gets butthurt about shit. I don't get triggered over shit. So it's like my willingness to like ignore the politically correct bullshit and get to the meat and potatoes that actually matters could get me in trouble, where I'm like, right, if I don't push back on something or if I don't fucking like, or if I kind of like sound like I'm agreeing with something, but it's not that I'm agreeing with it, it's just like that I agree with the essential message, which is not necessarily cancelable on a platform censorship level, right? YouTube and Twitch ban you because it's GG, you don't have a following? Yeah, exactly, yeah. But, I really wish he wasn't banned from Twitch. That's all I gotta say. I really wish he wasn't banned from Twitch. I miss when there was a balance, where I wasn't here for that, but it would be so much better if there was more of a balance, right? It's so fucking crazy. Whatever the goals are of deplatforming, they don't fucking work. They don't fucking work at all. Deplatforming does not work. Period. But, there is a parallel internet already emerging, so thank you, Farrakhan. Appreciate you. Guys, you want to know what I wish? You want to know what my standard is for this type of thing? It's Russia, okay? Russia doesn't have cancel culture, and in Russia, people from the far left, the real one, and the far right do engage in dialogue. They don't agree with each other, but it's like they don't have this culture of I can't even fucking explain what it is. Like in Russia, you have this broad kind of patriotic popular front, which is anti-imperialist and whatever. And then, yeah, there's a lot of people with problematic views and whatever, but like people don't focus on that. They focus on what fucking matters, right? So to me, what do you think about Putin saying he's going to destroy the... Yeah, I didn't see that. But to me, my standard is Russia. My standard is Russia. Like, I want to be what the Communist Party is in Russia for America. You know? Yes, the West has a very neurotic culture of cancellation. Deplatforming works. Look at Milo, Alex Jones. First of all, Alex Jones has not been destroyed. Okay, he's nowhere close to that. Milo, maybe, but there wasn't much substance behind Milo to begin with. Gavin, whatever, was the Vice News guy, and he founded the Proud Boys, and that shit is still up and running as far as I know. So, no, I don't think it fucking works. There wasn't a lot of substance behind that Milo guy, right? And Gavin created the Proud Boys, which is still around. It's still a thing. So, no, it doesn't fucking work.